Ever notice that some families just seem to stay wealthy? Not for one generation, or even two, but for 3, 4, 5 generations. And yet, their kids never appear in your feed flashing a Rolex or showing off their latest designer haul. That silence, that deliberate absence from the public eye, it's not an accident. It's intentional, and it starts way back at the crib. It's a playbook, a blueprint for raising kids that's been passed down, often whispered, and definitely not designed for likes or shares. While the rest of us are caught up in the great parenting debates of our time, Montessori versus Reggio Emilia, screen time limits, organic-only diets, old money parents are operating from a different kind of script. This isn't some trendy new philosophy. It's a playbook written long before Instagram could applaud or, for that matter, cancel them. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the 10 unspoken rules they repeat like a family mantra. And here's the kicker. None of these rules require a trust fund to copy, not a single one. But every single rule demands that you rethink what good parenting truly looks like in our noisy, validation-hungry world. Are you ready to see beyond the surface? Rule number 1, capital first, cash second. Most 10-year-olds, let's be honest, probably think money is just that crisp paper that pops out of an ATM, or maybe a number on a screen. Old money kids learn the opposite, and they learn it early. They understand that cash, while useful, is fleeting. It evaporates. Capital, however, things like land, shares in a solid business, intellectual property, even deep, meaningful relationships, that's what truly compounds. That's what grows and lasts. Think about it. That birthday money you might spend on the latest video game, for these kids, it's immediately swept into a tiny brokerage account. They don't just forget about it, they watch it, quarterly. They learn to see money not as something to spend, but as a tool, a seed. The lesson here is profound. What you cultivate and keep working for you, what generates more value over time, matters infinitely more than what you can wave around for instant gratification. It teaches a fundamental distinction between consumption and investment, instilling a deep respect for assets that build lasting value, whether tangible or intangible. It's about understanding that true wealth isn't measured by what you can buy, but by what you can grow. Rule number 2, manners are a technology. When we talk about manners, most people probably think of basic etiquette, elbows off the table, saying please and thank you. And yes, those are table stakes. But for old money families, manners are far more than just politeness. They are a sophisticated technology. The real goal isn't just to be polite, it's to achieve frictionless interaction with any human on Earth, regardless of their background, status, or temperament. Consider this fascinating detail. I heard about a Boston family who actually times their children with a stopwatch during phone calls. The goal? To articulate a clear, concise greeting and question. Hello, this is Catherine. May I ask who's calling? If it's under 10 seconds, that earns praise. Over 15, you get a redo. Why this intensity? Because efficiency, combined with grace, equals doors opening without you ever having to shove them. It's about building social capital, navigating complex social landscapes with ease, and making others feel comfortable and respected. Good manners aren't just about being nice, they're about being effective, about commanding respect and trust, and about making connections that can last a lifetime, whether in a boardroom or a diplomatic meeting. They are, quite simply, a strategic advantage. Rule number 3, invisible generosity. Here's a rule that flies directly in the face of modern philanthropy, where every donation comes with a press release and a photo op. If a charity gala can hashtag you, if your name is emblazoned on a building, then that donation, according to grandparent code, is large, loud, and frankly, a bit vulgar. True philanthropy, in their world, is anonymous. It's quiet. Why? Because the moment your left hand discovers what your right hand gave, the gift's moral interest rate drops. It becomes less about the impact and more about your ego. It loses its purity. So their kids aren't paraded through soup kitchens for social media content. Instead, they might deliver canned goods through side doors or sign volunteer sheets in pencil, never pen. The emphasis isn't on being seen helping, but on genuinely helping. It teaches humility, a focus on true impact, and the understanding that giving is its own reward, not a means to gain social currency. Rule 4. Boredom is a nutrient. Take a look at the typical private school schedule. It's often padded with cello lessons, Latin club, lacrosse practice, debate team. Every hour accounted for, every skill honed. But then, summer rolls around and, suddenly, at Grandma's lake house, there's zero Wi-Fi, no scheduled activities, just space. This isn't neglect, this boredom is engineered. Why? Because neuroscience actually backs this up. Unstructured silence, the kind that forces you to look inward and invent, thickens the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning, decision-making, and impulse control. The translation? A tolerance for stillness, for quiet contemplation, predicts a tolerance for market downturns later in life. It builds resilience, creativity, and the ability to entertain oneself, to problem solve without external stimulation. It fosters an internal locus of control, preparing them to navigate complex challenges, not just financial ones, but life's inevitable ups and downs, with a calm, resourceful mind. It's about cultivating an inner world rich enough to thrive without constant external inputs. Rule 5. Failure with training wheels. Most parents try to shield their kids from failure. Old money parents? They often engineer it, but with training wheels. Imagine a 12-year-old being handed $500 and told to increase it by September. No specific instructions, just the goal. If the kid buys slime supplies, sets up a small business and nets $40, great, that's a win. But what if they lose half of it on some crypto hype they heard about from a friend? Even better in a way. The tuition for that lesson, the sting of loss, the understanding of risk, is far cheaper now than it would be at 25, when the stakes are exponentially higher. While the parents shadow the experiment, they never rescue. They let the child feel the consequences, learn from their mistakes firsthand. This approach instills a crucial lesson. Skin in the game early means less blood later. It cultivates an entrepreneurial spirit, teaches risk assessment, financial literacy, and incredible resilience. It's about learning to fail forward, understanding that setbacks are part of the process of growth, and developing the courage to try again, smarter this time. Rule 6. The two-sentence rule. Opinions, much like perfume, are best applied sparingly. A whiff can intrigue, but a bath? It repels. This wisdom is distilled into a simple yet powerful rule for children at social gatherings, particularly dinner parties. You may speak 2 sentences before you must ask someone else a question. This isn't silencing children, it's about teaching them the art of conversation, the power of active listening, and the humility of seeking others' perspectives. It forces them to edit their thoughts, to be concise, to listen intently, and to disarm adults who might expect a lengthy monologue. By the time they're 17, these children can run a boardroom without ever hearing the exasperated sigh, "That's enough, Chad." They learn that true influence comes from understanding, from facilitating dialogue, and from making others feel heard, not from dominating the conversation. It's a masterclass in social intelligence, leadership, and impactful communication. Rule 7. Guard the surname. Try searching for a 5-generation Rockefeller or DuPont. What do you typically find? Maybe some wedding announcements, a sailing result, perhaps a philanthropic endeavor. And that's usually it. You won't find mugshots, no cringeworthy meme stardom, no public scandals. The reason is simple. Kids in these families learn that reputation is a family asset, a precious inheritance, not a personal toy to be played with or squandered. A single tagged photo holding a red Solo cup at a college party, a careless comment online, or any digital stupidity can, and often does, drop a cousin's internship prospects, jeopardize a family business deal, or tarnish a legacy built over centuries. Hence, the zero-tolerance policy for digital foolishness. They understand that their actions reflect not just on themselves, but on generations past and future. It's about upholding a standard of discretion, integrity, and respect that extends far beyond personal gratification, recognizing that the family name is a collective trust that must be diligently protected. Rule 8. Stewardship, not ownership. Sure, a trust might pay for college or even provide a significant inheritance, but it's never just given without context. The beneficiary often receives a one-page ledger, meticulously detailing every ancestor who paid into that fund since, say, 1911. It's a stark, tangible reminder of the generations of effort, sacrifice, and foresight that built that wealth. The message is clear, powerful, and deeply ingrained. You are a temporary custodian, a steward of this legacy, not a lottery winner. You didn't earn it, but you are now responsible for it. Psychology calls this intergenerational responsibility. Old money? They just call it not blowing it. It instills a profound sense of duty, understanding that their role is to preserve, grow, and ideally enhance this capital for future generations, just as those before them did. It shifts the mindset from individual entitlement to collective, long-term responsibility, ensuring the wealth serves a purpose beyond personal consumption. Rule 9. The uniform. Think about it. Navy blazer, gray wool pants, brown loafers. It's the same outfit at 8, at 18, and often at 80. This isn't about a lack of imagination or a strict dress code for its own sake. The sameness is strategic. It removes status games from clothing. It eliminates the daily anxiety of what to wear and the pressure to keep up with fleeting fashion trends. By doing so, it shifts competition and focus to ideas, to character, to substance. Steve Jobs did it with his black turtleneck and jeans. These families do it with tweed and tailored classics. Either way, the effect is potent. Decision fatigue disappears, and the morning routine becomes a quiet meditation on substance over style. It fosters a deep understanding that what you do and who you are matters far more than what you wear. It encourages a focus on internal qualities and contributions, rather than external displays that can distract from true merit. Rule 10. Quiet legacy. In a world obsessed with documenting every fleeting moment for external validation, old money families cultivate a very different kind of legacy. On every birthday, each child records a private audio letter to their future self. It's sealed, unheard by anyone else until they turn 21. No likes, no shares, no comments. Just a raw, honest voice acknowledging mistakes made, lessons learned, hopes for the future, and dreams yet to be realized. This ritual teaches a profound truth. Growth is internal documentation, not external validation. By the time they inherit, by the time they step into their full responsibilities, they've practiced measuring life in decades, in long arcs of personal development, not in disappearing story views or fleeting social media trends. It fosters self-reflection, accountability, and a deep understanding that true legacy is built quietly, intentionally, and from the inside out. It's about cultivating a rich inner life and a strong moral compass that guides them through life's complexities, independent of public opinion. Conclusion. Old money isn't magic, it's simply compound interest on values. The 10 rules we've explored share a single, unwavering spine. Postpone the dopamine, amplify the dignity. It's about deferring instant gratification for long-term gain, about choosing integrity and responsibility over fleeting applause. You don't need a trust fund to adopt any of these principles tonight.
What you do need are the guts to choose silence, service, and stewardship over spectacle. You need the courage to prioritize genuine growth and lasting impact over the superficial demands of a noisy world. And when you do, you just might find you're building a legacy that lasts for generations, whether anyone sees it on social media or not. If any of these rules rattled your assumptions, drop the number in the comments and tell us why. What resonated? What challenged your thinking? And if you want more insights into the hidden blueprints of quietly powerful families, hit subscribe and join our community.